Hey guys, it's Claudette and I am back. I am doing a little tutorial for you today. I've had a lot of requests on how I made my little paperclip shakers, and I thought I'd show you how to do it. I'm going to do a quick version of this because it's really easy. I decided to use circles opposed to the little scallops because I find that it's easier to have them align straighter when you use a circle opposed to something more intricate than the scallops. And so I wanted to start with that with you guys, and then you guys can use whatever shape you want, but this is basically the standard way or basic way of creating these paper clip shaker. And so what you'd need is I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 of these cut circles, and then I have this for the background, one of these, whatever background you want, and then one for the top layer. And what you do is, I've cut this out on my silhouette. It's a lot quicker for me and I get everything exactly the same. You can use a punch or you could use your Spellbinder nesting dies, and the reason why I don't use my Spellbinders or punches, I want to make sure that the circles are exactly aligned, so you have to be really careful when you cut them out that everything's going to line up perfectly. Okay, so if you have that, just make sure if the way you're going to go about it is with your not silhouette, Spellbinders or punch, you want to make sure that it's going to stay the same throughout all your cuts so they align perfectly well. If you do, it's not going to come out nice, and it's going to come out uneven, and you're just going to be frustrated. So that's what I highly recommend. Maybe like taping them together so that they're, are going to be, what do you call this, perfectly aligned, is the way I can think of. So here is, let's say this is your big Spellbinder die, and then this is the smaller one. Just tape them together so that when you put it on another sheet of paper, when you cut another one out, it's going to be exactly the same. Or cut 3 or 4 layers out at the same time, so you could make sure that these are going to cut out perfectly where they align with the next die or the next paper. Okay, so you can cut out as many as you like. You just want to make sure that when you do layer them, you get a pretty good, sorry about that, depth, so that your the inside of your shaker cart is going to be able to move. So you see how that is? Can you see the depth of that one right here? Let's see. You'd see it how it is on this one in right here. See how there's a little bit of depth in them, so that your confetti or whatever you use will be able to move around. If you don't, then they're not going to move around much. If you're going to practice the first few ones, I do highly recommend doing a regular shape, not a scallop shape, because it is a little bit trickier and you want to make sure you're aligned. And if you're really good at aligning them, then no problem. So something like this, a square, rectangle, and then I would say when you're ready to do the final product, to do whatever, once you've practiced, to go ahead and do whatever shape that you want to use and you feel comfortable doing. So anyhow, how you do it is you take these, I'm going to go ahead and use 8 of them, because what I like to do is, so I forgot to say, let me go back a little. So I have 9 of these. I have 1 DP paper, designer paper, and then for the top, and then I have 1 full for the background. I also have 1 full that's the same size of acetate. I use the transparency slash projector film that you could get like at Staples, you know, the stuff that they use for overhead projectors. That is what I bought. I've had this pack forever. So they last you a long time, but I will say they are a little bit expensive. But if you're going to make a lot of shaker cards, or you use them for boxes where you house chocolates and you want them to be displayed, then I would definitely get this the box from Staples, Office Depot, even Amazon. For me, I've had it since, I don't know, I want to say 14 years now, and I still have a lot. But I don't make a lot of shaker cards until recently, but since they're small, you could use one whole 8.5 by 11 and cut into it, and be able to use one sheet for a bunch of different projects. And with this project, you just need one acetate. So anyways, okay, so you need that. You obviously need glue. Your image, I will be using the little pony party. Is it mini pony party from the Simon Says September set that was created by the Greeting Farm, and this was an exclusive for their Stamptember event. I believe it's sold out, and I don't think you could get it anywhere else. They are not going to restock, so I hope you guys were able to get it while they were available. These do have coordinating dies you can purchase. They will be available later this month through Simon Says Stamp. And but yeah, I know that for those who haven't gotten this stamp set, I apologize for showing this, because I know you can no longer get this. But I wanted to use these cute because I wanted to show you how small they are opposed to the ones that the Greeting Farm sells. These are really mini, and I like them because they will fit in your little shaker card. So you need an image for that, and what you do is basically super simple. Also, of course, you'll need a paper clip. Now, the paper clip I am using, it is from Daiso, and I got the longer one because I found with the ones that I had prior, they're too small for me and for what I need. So, this is just a regular paper clip. If it's good for you and it works for you, then use a regular size, but I'm going to use this longer size. And like I said, I got this from Daiso, and it's $1.50, and yeah, this is gonna work for me. And so what you do is you take all of these, and I like to leave one for the acetate one. Okay, so I'll do that later. But what you do is you glue all of these together, and use whatever adhesive works for you. I'm just using the Scotch brown one. And then so all you do is you take them, stick them together, and you make sure that they're perfectly aligned. Okay? So then you just do that to all of these. You glue all of these together, and then so I went ahead and did one just so that I wouldn't bore you guys with gluing all of this. So I went ahead and glued it, and you can see the thickness of it. I went ahead and glued one of these to my background, which is that. So you just glue that together, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue all the ones I've glued already onto this. Okay? Alright. And what I like to do normally is I like to use one of my acrylic blocks and just weigh it on that so that it could lay flat and it's glued, it's being glued down properly, or there's some weight on it so it's being glued. Okay, so I take that and I glue it on top of that. Just wipe off the glue that you see inside, because then you don't want your confetti to stick to it. usually like to glue this onto, or stick a heavier acrylic block. And then I've already glued this. So I've glued this and the acetate and the pattern paper on top. And that's what I got here. So I glued that, and then I want to glue my little pony. You could leave it free, but shaking around in there like I did with this one. But I kind of found that I was annoyed with it being upside down sometimes, so I'm gluing this down. Okay, and then you want to add on your confetti. So I am using the Recollection Chunky Glitter. I use this one, or I use the Martha Stewart one, but I know the Martha Stewart one is a little bit more hard to get now that they're discontinuing it, or Michaels isn't carrying it anymore, and I don't see it around many places anymore. So I'm trying to do something where, or trying to showcase something that you can get that's readily available to you. Oops. Now you can put as much as you want. I'm going to put a little too much, but I did. So what I do is I have this little container, and I just go ahead and put some. Then what you do is you just glue this one on top, like so. Let's try to get everything. I hate when they linger. Okay, so I'm going to glue here since this is acetate, and I like the glue to have a little something to hold on to. Okay, so I'm going to let that dry off to the side, and what I'm going to do now is show you how I insert my paper clip. So I am going to use this one, and what you do is take an X-Acto knife. You're going to need, give me 1 second, sorry. You are going to need Glossy Accent or something similar to that. And you take your X-Acto knife, you figure out where you want your paper clip, and I want it to be, let me see, because this lip is, sorry about that, this lip is so tiny, you don't want it to go all the way in because you don't want to see it. Although you can if you want, because the glitter is probably going to hide it, but I don't think I want to do that. So I'm going to put it like right here. See, right here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take my X-Acto knife and go ahead and pierce it through. Okay. Okay. Oops, upside down. So I'm going to obviously have a little bit showing because it's such a big paper clip. And what you do is you take your Glossy Accent and go ahead and squeeze it in there. So as you can tell, I was doing this for the first tutorial, and because it was so intricate and I was trying to do this at a certain, you know, have the video at a certain length, it came out really sloppy. But you could tell because I have it really up there. But anyways, fill it with that, and if you like, you could take your Glossy Accent and run it through along the edges of the entire shaker clip, but I'm not going to do that right now. But let this dry. So what I normally do is I just have it on my little workspace upside down, waiting for it to dry. So really, that is it. It's not as complicated as one may think, and check that out. Still needs to dry a little. It's still a little wet, but look at that. Isn't that cute? Once again, this set is from the Simon Says September event, which is going on right now. But this stamp set is sold out. Check out the Greeting Farm. We have some ponies, but they're not mini. But yeah, they're still just as cute. You could use the little fairies or the little mermaids for this as well. They're small enough to put in here as well. And I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope it was helpful. Definitely leave me a comment down below and let me know if you have any questions about this tutorial. I know it was super quick, but that is how easy this is. A lot of it is just probably pretty much prepping all the stuff and getting all the stuff cut out and, you know, coloring your image. But yeah, that was it. So again, if you have any questions about this tutorial, leave a comment down below and I will get back to it as soon as I can. All right, thanks and see you guys soon. Bye-bye.